Apple Vision Pro. There is a big hype about this product that you see right here. It's not a bad design, as all Apple's designs. I gotta admit, even though I don't really have a lot of Apple stuff, their designs are top-notch, and I give them kudos for that. But is the hype really worth even our time? At the moment, I would say no. And no, I'm not saying it in a way that, oh, bashing Apple. It is just something that's not there yet. And not only Apple, but none of them are there yet. And as you see, the key here is available only next year. In the US, at least it says here. So, we cannot exactly jump in the train of the hype on a product that there is no way for the majority of the people to actually talk about. It is unreleased. And if you think Apple did something of a revolution, you might want to think that again. The competition on this territory for Apple is extremely high. Even though you may think that it's not, let me show you. Meta Quest 3 coming next year. As you see here, Meta Quest 3, Apple Vision Pro next year as well. Let's go through a few of those that are due to probably next year. Primax Crystal QLED, Primax 12K QLED, TCL Ray Neo X2, Shimmer's Rhino X Pro, Primax Portal View, Xiaomi Mia, Thunderbird Air Plus, TCL Nextwear V, Spacetop, Engo 2, Primax Portal QLED View, Digilens Argo, Simula 1. There is so many of them. Skyworth Pancake. This one actually doesn't look that bad. Nemo looks almost like what Google tried a few years ago. Skyworth Pancake 1 Pro. Nolo Sonic 2. This is quite similar to Apple if it had the see-through glass. Nolo Sonic 2, of course. EQ Mix. Whatever that means. Aina Lens, Aina XR. And there is so many that you will have your head spinning around. And as you see, this is just a list of actually some of them released already. And if you check at the YVR2, for example, there is something very similar with Apple itself. As you see, the design is actually really nice. I would not say that Apple has the edge on all of this. Now, granted, all the stuff that people are talking about on Apple, one thing remains. It has not been released yet. So they released the price before the product. And to me, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that. I don't know how the product is yet. There's no place to really test it at my home. So I cannot for sure say that, oh yeah, Apple did a great job. Well, yeah, they always design beautiful stuff, but there's nothing revolutionary when you compare to the other products of this category, which are a lot of them. As you saw there, there's literally hundreds of them that were released last year, this year, and are due for release later this year and early next year. And some of them come in extremely close, if not equal, to Apple. And that's just why I would love to wait and see before I jump to the Apple hype, even though for $3,500 that ain't gonna happen. I will not buy it. That's just one thing of life that it's not a thing I would value that much. I've had VR headsets before with Oculus and all that. The biggest hype of it is the first 35 minutes. After 35 minutes, you almost want to take the trip back to the store and return it. It's just how these things work. And yes, did Apple do something great? I believe so. They put the work on it. Is it for everybody? Absolutely not. It's not for me, and it's not gonna be for a lot of you, as much as we all would like to try one of them. First of all, availability. It's not even here yet. Second, price, $3,500. And it's on the worst time of the economy to come up with that price. Plus, it's a product that you don't wear daily. You don't go to school with it. You don't go to theaters with it. You don't walk on the street with it. You don't want to look like you just jumped from a 1950s bike ride. As beautiful as it is, it's not to be compared with any of these that some of them may never see the light of day, for example. But look at this one, for example, Dream Glass Flow. Dream Glass Flow, for example, if it ever comes to fruition, looks more doable. But when it comes to Apple's kind of bulky style, I don't see them being used daily. Plus, I've seen a lot of creators mention in the part that, oh yeah, you'll be able to take perfect Zoom calls. How are you gonna take Zoom calls exactly if you have the VR or AR headset on? How are they gonna see your face? Or are they just gonna see an avatar? Which in that case, you don't really need to have the VR goggles on you to see an avatar. That's already a thing with just a camera tracing your face and making the avatar move already on Zoom. So there's a lot of things that nobody's really addressing, and for a good reason, because the product is not available yet, and the competition is extremely high, and the margins of success for this product, unfortunately, in my opinion, is very slim for Apple. Very slim. If I were asked to say success or fluke, I would say, unfortunately, again, fluke. It's beautiful. It's just like their headphones, the big ones. The price kicks you out to begin with, and it's just the competition is too high. On the iPhone realm and laptop realm, yes, we understand there is competition there too, but iPhone and laptops are used daily, and people are used with the ecosystem of doing documents, video editing, and yes, I have to admit, as much as I use my Windows and Linux, when it comes to creative work like video editing, sound editing, and all that, Apple takes the cake. Apple does it almost perfect, way above the rest. But to say that the goggles that they just launched are a revolution, I would say no for now, and I would do a hard pass on it. Even if I had the money, I would give it a while until I even think about it. And it's nothing new. It is absolutely nothing new. It might be good in some certain applications, maybe to, I don't know, medical students to see 3D visuals of human body or human anatomy would be good for probably engineers, architects, some kind of applications like that, but most of the time I know they're not gonna use them. In those applications, I could see them happening. Maybe for home design, I noticed you could put AR stuff, but still you can do that with a lot of phones, with a lot of computers. You can do them with a lot of the other AR, VR, mixed reality goggles, which that's nothing special either. Yes, you might have a faster processor, but these are being put out as standalone device. But standalone with 2 hours of battery, that's not ideal, especially when you're talking about rendering or watching or doing anything. And yes, they have the ability to do this and that, but in 2 hours you have to put them to charge, or otherwise you'll be tethered. So you'll have a wire wired to you, and that makes them less standalone than you thought. Unless Apple comes up until next year on the release with something else, then we will have to talk. But for now, this was just an announcement of a future product. The product, until next year, will not be available to me and you yet. And no, I do not believe in engineering samples and store samples to make a product review for certain. That's not how it works. Engineering samples and store samples, 90% of the time, don't make it to the general public. And with that said, that was just my opinion and my view on it. And no, I do not see it as a revolution or anything new for that matter. It is a beautiful design, and no, I'm not bashing Apple because I like their product designs, even though they're not for me. But if they're for you, yes, more power to you. They're beautiful. But I will be a hard pass on this one, even if the money was not an issue. And with that said, I hope you like this video, and we will see you next time. Bye!